Hello, everyone, and welcome in to O'Neill's Grill for our weekly fan and press luncheon with JMU head football coach Everett Withers. I'm again your host, and again, welcome in to O'Neill's Grill. Well, Coach, the JMU Dukes this week go down to Charlotte to face the 49ers. You jump out to a 20 lead, just 4:14 remained there in the first quarter. You needed much of that lead as the game did progress, and as you continue with the building of this culture, is maybe one of the next steps to kind of develop a little bit of a killer instinct with your team?
Well, Kurt, obviously we jumped out to that early lead, and I never felt like we were really in danger of losing the game. To be really honest with you, I don't think it's a matter of killer instinct. It's a matter of, in the second and third quarter there, we lost momentum. They did a good job defensively of jamming up our run game, so we had to go to step two in our offense, and we made maybe three or five, probably five plays on defense that were critical to their success. 3 plays in the run game, which we gave up on those 3 plays, 110 yards, I think of 160 yards rushing, and then another 2 plays on offense that they made where we misplayed balls or made mental errors. They gave up another 120 yards. So again, you take those 5 plays out of the ball game, I think we play a really, really good ball game.
Coach, you wanted to establish the run. That's certainly nothing new with your team.
Mm-hmm.
You did so there in the first quarter with the running of Juwan Latney. Did you see that on film, or did that something kind of develop as you went into the game and realized this is something we can be very successful, just basically downhill running?
Well, it's who we are, I think, and that's the identity we want to have on our football team. We want to be able to run the football. We feel like our offensive line is one of the strengths of our football team and has grown into that. That was not the case if you watched us in the spring. But I think they're playing with a high level of confidence. I think we probably played as physical up front as we played all year long. So to be able to run the ball early in the ball game, we wanted to come out fast and establish a run. We were able to do that, and Juwan's a big part of that run game. All our backs are a big part of that run game, and we just have to continue. That's something that we want to build on each week as the season progresses.
Even though you did have a pretty good passing game, you've also talked about a lot of the short passes you really consider part of your rushing game.
Right.
And once they did start to jam the box there, that's where the Dukes found a lot of their success, particularly in the second half.
Yeah, we were able to get on the edges with our quarterback and some run-pass options and be able to throw the ball into the boundary a little bit and even to the field some. And they were actually giving us that in their defensive structure. So, again, the short pass game to us is just like runs to us. So that was, if you look at Vad's numbers, those are some easy completions because they were giving that to us.
When their quarterback went down, Matt Johnson, in the late in the first half, and then they bring on Lee McNeil, had you seen much at all? Did you have any information about him in the event that he would play? And obviously, he did.
Well, I mean, obviously you try to look and see who's played for him, and we knew he was the backup quarterback. I think he had thrown 8, maybe 10 passes previously, and most of that in cleanup duty. But, you kind of have to know who the backup is. We have a motto on defense: we'd like to see the backup play. And that's because we've either affected the starter either physically or mentally. And that's something that we try to do on defense. Obviously, pretty talented kid, came in, made some plays. Again, some of that offense in the second half, really in the second quarter and the third quarter. Those are the 2 quarters that we had issues with. Where we just did not play our best on defense. So it obviously looks like a guy played really well on offense, and some of that's because we didn't play very well on defense.
Vad Lee is just 5 yards shy, becoming only the 4th JMU player to throw for 2,000 yards.
Yeah.
Again, coming out of Georgia Tech, people just had an idea, a notion that he was purely a runner.
Right.
Has he thrown the ball to meet your expectations or beyond your expectations, even when you go back into August?
Well, really, there was not a big expectation on the passing game, one way or the other. It was about his, hopefully he could grow into a leadership role on our football team, because you need for your quarterback to be a leader on your football team. We knew he had skills running the football because of obviously the offense he was in at Georgia Tech. But I give a lot of credit to our offensive staff, Coach Maringer, and those guys for growing a young man in an offense that he had no idea about, this time last year. So he's progressed. He will tell you that he's not close to where he can be and hopefully will be. He's still got a lot of growth. He did not play as complete a game as everybody would love to think he played. There was some yardage and some touchdowns out there you'd like to have. So again, anytime you're able to have the stats that he had and you can get better, that's a good thing.
Did you reap any benefits from the way that you practiced coming out of the win over Towson? That week you went a little deeper with coaching. Did you see any benefits from that week? Did it emerge in Saturday's game by any chance, or did you not have to go that deep?
Well, it did help us some on special teams, some of our special team depth. It helped us in some ways. We actually played some guys in some special teams roles that we basically worked during our bye week, and that was kind of one of our objectives. If we could find some guys that could add to our depth in special teams, and we were able to do that. And hopefully those guys that we found can continue to grow in those roles in the special teams and even into our depth. We're at the point in time during the season, everybody's got injuries this time during the year, but defensively we've probably been hit harder than on the other side of the football.
Against Towson, you scored on 9 of 15 possessions, 8 of 16 at Charlotte. Can you get better than that?
Well, yeah, we can. Again, there was a period there in the second quarter and the third quarter we really, kind of got stagnant in a little bit offensively and didn't do well. And they did a nice job, again, stopping our run. And, we came up short on a couple third downs. We had 2 turnovers there in the second half that we didn't really capitalize on. I think we got 3 points out of them. So, again, yeah, we've got a lot of growth. And, again, it was a very inconsistent game offensively, defensively, and even in the special teams.
You did come out with Ryan Maglio kicking a 49-yard field goal, obviously a career best for him, and he chipped in with an 18-yarder as well. Are you feeling a little more comfortable with him as you go along, as he's gaining a little bit more experience? Yeah,
well, Ryan's got a strong leg when it comes to PATs and field goals, and he's getting a little bit more of that comfort level with that group that he's out there with. They feel very good with him. He's able to get the ball up. So when we can get into a range where we feel comfortable, we'll give him some opportunities to do that.
The bottom line is you do come up with a win. You do have to face some adversity through that. Some of it self-induced once again.
Right.
But for good teams find a way to win. So from that perspective, you're 5-3. You've won 3 in a row, and you go 3-0 in October.
Right, and to me, that's the biggest thing is I'm really proud of our football team because it really seems like we have a way and a feel about going on the road and playing, and to me, that's very important. That's one of the things that we hope to continue to grow and enhance. That we play on the road, it's not a factor for us. We don't get spooked about going on the road and playing, and to me, that's a big part of the growth and the journey that we're taking with this football team.
All right, Coach, we're here with Coach Everett Withers at O'Neill's Grill on University Boulevard. We're going to turn it over to other members of the media here at O'Neill's with our weekly fan and press luncheon.
Coach, we've talked about Vadley's leadership throughout the season. Has it become one of those things where, if Vad plays well, everyone else around him plays well? I mean, you said that he still has a lot of growth to do, but it has become one of those things where he's led in both by example and also just off the field?
Well, yeah, I think, the thought that he's becoming more of a leader each week is what we hope would happen. Obviously when you transfer into a program, and he was not the starting quarterback of this program last year, so he had to prove himself in that way. That process takes time, and then now what's happened is our players have rallied around him because he is a really, really good teammate. He is a unbelievable young man and a really good teammate. He works really hard in practice, and our kids, his teammates see that. And he's not afraid to take blame when things are not going well, when it's his fault. Okay, and to me, when you're doing that as a leader, then that's important, and I think that's something that he's done well, and our team has rallied around that.
I know Saturday was a business trip for you, but what was it like to be in the place that's meant so much to you, Charlotte, just for a couple hours?
Say that one more time.
Sorry. I know Saturday was a business trip for you,
sure.
But what was it like to be working in the city that has meant so much to you in your life?
Well, I played in Charlotte a number of times before. I played NFL games there, played 2 bowl games there, so it's it was a business trip for me. And again, there's family, there's a lot of things going on. I try not, I did not want to make this about me. I wanted to make it about our football team going on the road and winning and playing a team that would come off a bye that was, again, playing their homecoming. And also, we were playing a 12 o'clock start, the earliest start we played all year long. So, to me, those are 3 factors that I wanted to focus in on, and we were able to check those off our list.
And going into this week, homecoming, a big rivalry game, what do you tell your team coming off a 3-game winning streak to give them a reality check and not get too complacent?
Well, I will tell you our team won't be complacent. That's not how we work. We went back to work last night in practice and had a pretty spirited practice, a pretty physical practice. And, we know that each week is its own entity. It's not about, what's been done in the past. It's about how can we improve and get better each week. And again, it's about each day giving all you got for your teammates and for our team.
Coach, can you talk a little about William & Mary, what you're kind of expecting from them?
Well, I know they're going to be a well-coached team because of what Coach Laycock has done over his time there, 35 years. They'll be a well-coached team. They'll be a physical team. They'll be a team that can run the football. So we have to do a good job of preparing ourselves to stop the run. We've got to do a good job of being sound and very, very good on our special teams because they'll be a good special teams team. And again, I think they play really good defense. So, we're going to have to improve in a lot of areas and continue to grow as a football team.
Coach P, we'll talk about the Charlotte has some success. You talked about their 3 big runs. It seemed most of the time you managed the trenches, but there were times where they were able to really gain control and pick up momentum. What was the difference in your defense, and how do you make those adjustments to get that squared away?
Well, I will tell you this. Our front 4 played really well. In fact, Simeon Robinson, a redshirt freshman, was our defensive player of the game. Played a really, really good ball game. I thought Sage Harrell played well. I thought Alex Mosley played well. Brandon Lee. All those guys played well. We misfit some runs with our second level, with our down safety, who is a true freshman, and our linebackers, and just not getting over the top of a block. It's really that simple. I go back and I watch the film, and it's one guy not getting over top of a block. And they did a nice job. Obviously, they had a big offensive line. They did a nice job. Really good running back. Really good back. So, again, those are things that are fixable. And, again, it's one of those deals where you just got to go back to work. And we did last night. We went back and corrected a lot of that last night. Our guys did. I thought our defense played really well in the first half. I really did. I take one of the touchdowns myself. I go for it on 4th down, and I shouldn't. I should have punted the football. So I told our defense that when they came off the field after they scored. I said, "That's me, guys. That's not you." So again, those are things that I felt confident that our defense would continue to play well. We didn't in the 3rd quarter. We got some turnovers in the 4th quarter that were able to help us win the game.
You talked about your perimeter passing game, but you went deep several times.
Yeah.
Even though you didn't complete those, that still benefits your run game and your short pass game, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It does. And to be honest with you, Vad will tell you on some of those deep passes, if he puts them in the right spot, we probably score at least 2 more touchdowns. So those are things that, again, you can correct. But, yeah, you have to take your shots down the field. One of the things that we want to do better in the future is have guys. We have to go recruit guys that we can get deep. and stress the defense vertically, and that's something that we're gonna, we're recruiting every day to try to get better at that, because we really, to be honest with you, right now, that's not a strength of ours right now. We have to find guys that can knock the top off of coverages, and that you do that by going out on the road and finding them.
With this last 4-game stretch coming up, what's the biggest thing you're kind of looking forward to improve on and work on as a team?
I'm looking forward to Tuesday of having a good physical toughness Tuesday practice and getting ready for the next ball game.
If you could put your defensive coordinator hat on again, I guess you said there was just 5 plays that really skewed those stats. I mean, how do you kind of grade that performance overall? I mean, did the numbers just tell a different story than how you actually played?
If we correct the 5 plays, I feel really good about our football team and our defense.
Can you outline those 5 plays again real quick so people can know which ones those were? It was the long pass.
I don't have a play-by-play in front of me, but I can tell you there were 3 runs for 110 yards, and there were 2 passes, a 99-yard pass that we misplayed and a 21-yard pass that we had a mental error in the coverage for 100 and whatever yards, 21 yards, 20 yards.
And how important were those fourth quarter turnovers that you guys got when Charlotte seemed to have momentum and you were able to kind of stop them deep in your own territory?
Turnovers are always big. We won the turnover battle, so anytime we can do that, I feel real good about our football team. So yeah, they were big, and we needed them. We didn't capitalize on them like we needed to offensively, but there were things that we needed. We needed to stop some of the bleeding, and getting turnovers is part of that.
I know you said after the game you didn't take a step back, but are there things that teams can expose that maybe Charlotte did that really you'll have to shore up going forward that could become a problem, I guess?
Fitting the 3 runs better and making the play on the misplay pass. Nothing structurally.
Okay.
Coach, from your experience in coaching, what's the toughest part about heading into November? I mean, you mentioned injuries are a part of that. What's the toughest part about heading to this kind of stretch in November, late in the season?
I don't think there's the toughest part. I think it's about your football team, starting to understand that, you're getting toward the latter part of your season, and you're getting into the fourth quarter of your football season, and that's really what you work for throughout your off-season training. You want to be stronger and start to play better toward the end of the year, and I feel like our kids are we have, when I watch our kids practice, I feel like we're at that point of time, and they'll tell you, I asked them a week ago, that they feel like they're getting stronger toward the end of the year, and they feel like they're practicing better than they ever have. The ones that have been here toward the end of the year, and to me that's important. That goes back to our strength program, our all-season training, our spring training, our summer training. So hopefully we can continue to grow on those things and get better.
I guess when you look at the William and Mary matchup, does this seem bigger than any game you've played because they're a ranked team and it's so late, and these conference games against a ranked team like that, does it seem any bigger than any other one?
Not really.
Okay.
Any other questions from anyone? No? Okay. Yeah, we got one.
Coach, we went 18 minutes and we haven't mentioned the word journey. So in this journey, 5-3 and a 3-game winning streak, is this what you kind of
I
expected?
think I said journey one time.
We'll have to go back and review the tape.
You
I
missed
must have not been paying attention.
Yeah, you weren't paying attention. Yeah.
But is 5-3 where you expected heading into this part of the season?
I will go back to what I said earlier. Maybe the first time I sat here before, anytime I sat at a table and people were out there, I had no idea what our record would be. No idea. And still don't. Okay? I just want us to get better at particular things, and I feel like that's happening throughout our football team. And we've got a long way to go to grow this football team and this program. We're trying to grow this program. And that journey will continue for a long time past the football season.
All right, there we go. Another short journey here on this Monday afternoon at O'Neill's Grill, as the Dukes will be facing the Tribe of William and Mary. Kickoff time is 3:30, and it is homecoming 2014 at James Madison University. Hope to see you out there at Bridgeport Stadium. For Coach Everett Withers, I'm Kurt Dudley. Thank you for joining us this week with our weekly Fan and Press Luncheon here at O'Neill's Grill in Harrisonburg. Have a great football week, everyone.